Hello everyone, and before we start, thank you Barbad0 for the follow, my friend. I very much do appreciate it. But welcome to something a bit new. This is a game called Gravity Rip. Excuse me while I get my jumper off. But yes, hello everyone. This is a tabletop. As you know, I'm a bit of a tabletop nerd, and you might also know me from my previous endeavors in tabletop, like me as a player in D&D, or me as the cause of everything wrong in the world in 10 Candles. Yes, hello. I'm now doing this. I'm now doing another DMing thing because I'm a person who likes doing this sort of stuff. I don't know what I'm saying, but Gravity Rip. Gravity Rip, in case you don't know, is a system made by a person by the name of Luke Westaway. And I've taken quite a heavy amount of inspiration when it comes to my styling, as you'll probably see. Oh, Elmo, thank you for the bits. I really do appreciate that. God damn. We're starting another... Everyone's talking. Anyway, Gravity Rip is basically imagine space. An endless frontier full of possibility. You know, humans have been very kind to people, then they decide to be dicks to people. And imagine that the only thing that creates a general bind between the races is the League. A death-defying racing track where death is still very much a possibility, but you can go for glory. This is basically what it is. Oh, Mira, are you still in the Mira's still in the pit. Fucks. You'll see what I mean by the pit tomorrow, but Gravity Group is basically a racing sci-fi game. I've waited months for this RPG. Yeah, so this means something that we did in the works. So as you might have noticed, this is called the Stars of Sumatra Babylonis. There are 2 other teams with 4 other players that I hope to get to as well within the time. So next Friday will probably be Paradoxical's term. And after that, what we will have is we will have Fenar Operable. Oh dear, if you overdose on Monster, try to eat something and drink some water. I highly recommend that. Trust me, I feel you bad. I feel you bad. But we actually have a few members of the teams in the chat, actually, I do believe. So, yes, anyway, this is not a pit fight, but eventually these teams will actually be pitted together. But for now, we will be mainly just introducing these teams for the next Fridays. Then, you know, Gravity Rip might be a little bit slower, but be able to see what else is going on. Anyway, I think with that generally very rough explanation, I think I can show you the other shit, not actual factual. Oh dear. Oh yeah, one other thing as well, I do have a chat up. I won't be reading the chat that much. I want you to bear in mind, but I won't be able to, you know, respond that much. But I'll try to bear in mind what you lot are saying as well. But anyway, let's take a look at the Gravity Rip overlay. So yes, this is the Gravity Rip overlay that I've made. As you can tell, we have me in one of the corners and we have everyone else in the other bit. I'm currently deafened, so you can't see if they are talking. So you know, usually you'd be able to see me doing my little bar if I was talking, but you cannot see it. And just... Don't worry about Cheese's PFP. This is their racer. This is their racer. You know, take a look at Kosh. Like, take a look at good old our other person who I totally didn't just leak the name of. I'm very nervous, but anyway, this is the start of the overlay. I actually tried to make a bit more of an effort in doing this. Jesus. Oh dear. Anyway, let's go ahead and undeafen, shall we? Let's see what they're saying. Alrighty. Right, hello.
Hello.
Hey.
What is
Sorry, I'm just reading the chat. It's fucking... Sorry, I'm just realizing. But yeah, okay, good. Overlay is working. So now when you guys talk, you can actually you know, see the little green bar going around. So that's great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wait, does it?
Does it work though?
Does it actually work? Hold on.
Does it appear
work?
to be effective even
Yes.
Does it?
remotely? Well, it seems to be working
Okay,
for me.
there we go. Good. Perfect. Okay, so the only thing I've got to do is make sure that I don't like minimize Discord, or else it's fucked. That's the only thing I've got to do. That's the one thing I can't fuck up. Just whenever I want to leave out a Discord, I click another window. Okay, good to know. Anyway,
The worst German chancellor. To make that clear.
I like how the chat is just divided in Angela Merkel and the pit. Almost two things that could almost go coinciding with each other depending on your views on politics. Anyway, how about fucking no, sorry. How about we actually introduce who is here today? I'm sure you've already met these people before, but in case you haven't, how about we get to know the players here? Let's go from Nick, shall we?
In what regard? You want to know me or the character?
You can just say a bit about yourself. We can meet your character in just a little bit once the stage is set.
Well, I am Nick. I am somewhat not new to role-playing escapades such as this, seeing as I play Dungeons and Dragons and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know how much of this audience actually know about me, but I do shit like 3D art, and quite frankly, that's about all I can really think at the moment, seeing as I only woke up about an hour ago.
Yeah, don't worry. Like, you actually do some really good art. So, actually, the PFP made is made by you, right?
It is. It is.
Yeah. So some very good shit. Some very good shit here. Very high quality stuff. So, yeah. Thank you for that, Nick. And I'm sure you've all met Cheese, but just for the sake of formality, Cheese, tell us about yourself.
I am cheese.
Do you wanna name your title of moderator of any, and do you want to say anything else, or
Oh,
you just
my title? I'm
do,
#1 Astolfo fan.
yes? And for the rare time today, you are no longer a Stolfo, which is truly a great part of Road Recovery. So congratulations.
Nostalfo. Never understood.
Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. Anyway, I think with that being said and done, shall I get all of you introduced to the start of, well, Gravity Rip? I'll try to be as formative as I can, and yeah, any other questions?
No.
Alright. Well, how about we get into Gravity Rip as we delve ourselves into Crater City. So, as you may or may not know, Gravity Rip is set in the city of Crater City, a once bustling human settlement that is the one only place where many alien races still mingle, as that is what houses the League itself, and the Hangar, a large, imposing building. It is effectively a large box, but nonetheless, it's a highly technologically adept city. There is a very high population to it. It is the hub for everything racing. And this is where you will find yourself as prospects to the League. You know, some of you may already know a lot about it, some of you may know very little. But every racer, when they are hoping to make a name for themselves, will be walking down the red carpet, you know, smiling to the presses and trying to put a good image of themselves. That's not where you are, though. You are all currently a bit further away. You are all starting off, much like most actual D&D stories, in a bar. There are 3 people at a table, one on one end particularly larger than the rest, but our 2 racers are sitting on the other side having just finished a meal. We see one more of a robotic nature, and we see one of a more organic nature. And we will get on to our 3rd member later on. But for now, how about we take a look at who is actually sitting next to each other, and let's get a description of Kosh. Shall we?
Well, Kosh is a being and known as an Etherean. Not a lot of people know about this particular species, mostly because they're generally very secretive and they tend to want to try to avoid interfering with the affairs of what they consider to be lesser species. Kosh himself is a bit of a deviation. He doesn't necessarily hold true to the same prejudice as members of his own species, so he's considered more or less an outcast. His intention within this race is to basically prove his own species wrong in that particular regard by winning, for all intents and purposes. You know, he wears what he calls an environmental suit or an encounter suit of some sort, although it's primarily assumed that it's for simulating his own environment, not really. People kind of assume that they don't really need environmental support, so they're kind of confused as to why they use these things in the first place, perhaps to conceal their true identity.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. Is there anything else you want to add, or is that Kosh at a glance?
Kosh at a glance.
Perfecto. That is all we need for now. We can learn much more about you later. But let's take a look at your human companion by the side of you. Perhaps in the later years. Let's take a look at aptly named Super Speed.
Yes. Super Speed is a very old man, as you might be able to see. Like probably in his 80s. If you're an old racer fan, you might recognize him as the fastest man alive, although he hasn't been seen for a long time.
And yet now they are in a bar with one of the most powerful people in the entire galaxy currently. On the other side of you, you see a very large crocodilian man, not only in height but also in physique. They sport quite a large gut, and they are known as Mortimer Hanson, the CEO of Babylonis Communication Limited. They've tried to make a bit of an appearance today, as usually they wear more casual clothing, but they're wearing a relatively nice blue suit with a waistcoat but no tie. They want to keep it somewhat casual. The only issue is that the suit seems like it fit about a year ago. But here they are in front of you, just finishing off about an entire pig. But as you all are sort of finishing off your parts, the sort of like fade from the outside starts to dim a little bit as the lunch hour starts coming around, because most people here are drinking, not eating. But Mortimer's finished off and begins to address the rest of you.
All right. So, excuse me, went down the wrong hole. Right. So, Kosh and Super Speed, you all know obviously that you're a part of our team, and you obviously know that right now I don't exactly have the paddock ready, but don't you worry, I've got a plan for that. I know where we need to go. We've got the guys on standby. Everything's gonna be fine. We're just gonna go in. But the only other part of it is I can't really be going through the main way right now. There's too many presses over there. It's a bit of an issue. As you saw in the news, one of the telecommunications devices had a small bug about it where it seemed to explode. The presses are mean, so even for me, I don't want to go there right now. So I'm gonna try and slip around the back. I'll need someone here try and, go through the main way, put on a show, I don't know, do a backflip if you can. I just need someone to do something. Are any of you okay? I need one of you to go through the front. That's what I'm saying. I'm not asking.
I'll do it. That's
All
my
right.
job as Super Speed.
Alright, I like your attitude, Super. You really ain't lost it yet, so that's good. Getting on, but hey, what can I say? Kosh, what do you want to do? Do you want to slip him back with me, or do you want to go through front? Because quite frankly, I could use a bit of an intimidation factor,
I will accompany Speed. It is
Alright,
my ultimate goal.
fair enough then, that is perfectly fine. Oh, Kosh, before I forget, there was a slight issue, a small hiccup, but don't worry, I'm getting it sorted out for you.
Explain.
Well, your vehicle, it's currently not in the hangar. It's going through a form of a quarantine. There were some concerns about some matter inside of it, but don't you worry. If anything,
Lotus is a living organism. It is not harmful to other organics. This is an inconsistency. You will correct it.
oh, don't worry, it is already being corrected because whilst it isn't harmful, it was just the idea of identifying it. But I've greased a few palms, so it'll be coming over in the morning. It's just that right now it won't be there at night, which, if anything, is actually a really good thing because that way no one's gonna ding up your car in the middle of the night. So don't you worry about that. It will be there. It's just that right now you can't quite take a look at it. I just want to let you know
Be
that.
certain. My participation is contingent on the arrival of Lotus.
I will guarantee you right now, Lotus, perfectly fine. Everything's fine there. I got my best men on that. As I said, they grease palms. Money talks around here. I can tell you that much. Trust me. But that car will be there for the morning, so don't you worry too much. I just didn't want to let you know in case you realize that, oh no, my car ain't there. What am I gonna do? It's fine. Don't worry. We're just gonna go there, get an appearance, get our paddock sorted. Then we're gonna go away for the night, come back. Everything's good. That's the general plan here, okay? Does that? I think that sounds pretty good to you guys, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It is agreeable.
Perfect. I like it. Good. Well, I think we've spent our time around here. How about we get a show on the road, huh? Oh.
Do not attempt to enter Lotus. None have returned who have done so.
Oh shit. Give me a moment. Hanson quickly walks off and pulls out a phone, and you hear some harsh words, but they quickly come back. Alright, yep, all sorted. Anyway, let's get moving, eh? Let's go, come on.
Yeah.
We got a show to start.
Super Speed starts walking towards the exit.
Alright. Is everyone else walking?
Kosh is methodically floating alongside Super Speed.
Perfecto. Alright. So, as you start to walk out the bar, you go over to the vehicle that brought you there. A quite large limousine to fit Mr. Hanson's large frame. As per constructed, however, it will not arrive immediately at the quote-unquote red carpet. It'll actually arrive a few blocks down and then continue on. So, just to get it clear, Kosh, you would like to leave with Mr. Hanson a few blocks away to sneak around the back.
Actually, Kosh was going to leave with Super Speed,
Oh, gotcha.
mostly because he doesn't necessarily care too much about what happens to Tanzan. Tanzan's
Fair
a means
enough.
to an end for him.
Fair enough then, alright. So, yeah, Hanson starts to get out of the car and says, one more thing. Don't tell the guard your names, just tell him that I sent you. Just say that Mortimer sends his regards. That'll get you in, don't worry. I'll catch you around the back, okay? Any other questions?
Oh,
Alright, best of luck. The prince is gonna love you, don't you worry. Alright, get moving. And with that, the limo starts to go towards where our story now begins, in a bit more of a normal way. So, usually limos are a bit more soundproof, but this one, even with everything that's been put in, you hear the roar of applause. And you see, and you can feel the excitement in the air through the blacked out windows that you have. There is a large amount of people, and whilst there is a path there are some people who are maybe not quite as well adhering to it. But, whenever you are ready to, you'll most certainly be able to make your way through. Do you want to maybe say anything about how you want to do this, or do you just want to hope for the best?
If anyone is looking at me, I start striking poses and
Fair
just
enough.
saying, "Yeah, I'm Super Speed."
Alright then. As you're sort of getting out, you hear people go like, "Hey, is that Super Speed? That is fucking Super Speed. Holy shit, that's Super. Like, you hear sort of whispers around the crowd as you might have known, you made quite a name for yourself back in the day, and to see you back is certainly quite interesting. And Kosh, you'd certainly take note of this as well. But
Kosh,
yeah.
Yeah, what Kosh is going to do is he's basically going to trail behind Super Speed, and he's actually somewhat puzzled as to why all of a sudden he's behaving in this strange manner until he realizes the crowd is having a reaction to it. To which he somewhat studies the crowd as he makes his way towards the paddock.
Yeah, a few eyes do lay on you as well, like, hey, who's that guy? I don't know. And I'm, okay, we'll see. Yeah, now we'll see. Are you here?
Observing Super Speed, Kosh makes a note to himself.
A poker face carved in marble. This will not end well.
But he's not about to let Super Speed know that he thought that to himself, so.
And Super Speed, as you're sort of walking over, you actually feel a tug on your arms as someone particularly grabby has just gotten hold and said, Super Speed, can you give us any thoughts about your wife's situation? I know it's a horrible time for you, but what happened?
Don't talk to me. I'm Super Speed.
But Mr. Super Speed, please, we need a story here.
My wife's death is none of your concern.
With that, they just sort of carefully put their hand away, like, oh, well, fuck you then, and sort of retreat back into the crowd. But without too much more accosting, you do make your way over to the door.
Also, Super Speed stopped striking any poses.
Fair enough then. But yeah, you do get to the door, and before that, you do actually see a security bot. Quite a large sort of figure, but as you might have known about some other security bots, they're more or less hollow on the inside. But nonetheless, they immediately clock both of you and go, I need your name, please. Thank you.
Oh, I'm
Name.
And I look at Kosh.
We were sent by the reptile.
Name?
Kosh of Etheria.
Can you please name the reptile that was mentioned?
What was his name again? Tanner? Danson?
No. Danson. Approved.
Alright.
And with that, the bot moves out the way. You do notice as well that there's no list they check or anything. They just seem to look at their hand and then look around and move on. But with that being done, you all slowly make your way into the hangar. So, as sort of previously explained, the hangar is a very large open space. There are a few floors to it, as luckily, cars here do not need to be driven in, they're more teleported in. Now, you're obviously on the ground floor, and whilst Mortimer didn't exactly tell you where to go, you hear the footsteps before anything else. So, you feel like in quite a moment you'll soon see Hanson. But for now, you have a quick moment just to take a look around the hangar. Is there anything you would like to know?
Do I see where my vehicle is?
Unfortunately, you do not. You don't see anything about the car. You do also note, but bear in mind, it is currently more like lunchtime afternoon.
In that case, I just sort of take my time, just sort of keeping out of everyone's way, and I study everyone that's coming past.
All right, fair enough. You do generally notice that, like, you get many different, repair droids, mechanics, and a few racers as well milling around, and it's very much an idea of organized chaos in the hangar right now, as people are trying to get their work done, and whilst not doing their last-minute prep, are trying to get some quick improvements done to their vehicles as they can get away with. But that's generally the idea, unless you want to go for a bit more of an invasive search onto any particular racers at all.
What races do we see? Do you recognize any of them?
A lot of the races here currently are ones that you don't really know. There's a lot of people who are just coming in from the first batch of, new races. So there's a lot of new faces around. None of these probably would be people that you know. But if you want to maybe roll for something to maybe try to get a few names out, you certainly can. And I guess that if you would like to roll, I'll also explain the Chaos Theory system. So, as you may notice on the overlay, and as we were given to you, you're assigned a Chaos Theory number. Now, what that does, it allows you to go your rolling, since you don't just roll for a high number to succeed. It's actually down to how you want to do your action, is how you actually have your capability to succeed. So, let me just say really quickly that... apologies, I'm just checking through that I'm doing things right on this. The Chaos Theory scores. So, if you have a high number, that would mean that you are... Oops, sorry, hold on. Fuck. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. My apologies. Okay. Yeah. The Chaos Theory. Alright. The higher your number, the more your character is chaotic. The lower number, the more they are analytical and theory-based. Now, if you're more of a chaotic person, you are driven more by your passion and your emotion on the time, taking decisive action as opposed to thinking about it. But hey, maybe it works out for you. Those who are on the lower end are a bit more scientifically aware and are a bit more calculating. And though, that is what makes you your character special. As when you're trying to do a roll, it'll be either a chaos or a theory roll. And what you'll know is that if you are trying to do a chaos roll, you need to roll lower than the number. If you're trying to do a theory roll, you need to roll higher than your number. So let's go back into the action here. So you want to try and take a look around for a racer around here, right?
Yeah.
Alright. Now, would you say this is more chaotically looking or trying to actually analyze faces?
Like, my idea was that I just start introducing myself to people.
Okay, fair enough. You just sort of start approaching a bunch of people.
Hey, I'm Super Speed, the fastest man alive.
Alright, fair enough. Roll me a chaos check. So just roll a d6, and if you roll lower than your number, you succeed. That's the long story short here. What did you get? You got a 3. Yeah, perfect. You succeeded in this one. One other thing I'll mention as well, in these 3 remote areas, if you want to, you can use your reputation as a racer to perhaps give yourself an advantage if that is applicable. Now, in Gravity Rip, you are only as famous as your last race. So, whilst you're all completely new racers, perhaps you had a race at the start. If that in any way could help you in your actual rolling, you'll be able to get to roll an extra d6. However, with this, there isn't really much of a way you could. But just bear that in mind for the future if you want to do a roll. But yeah, no, you rolled that perfectly fine. So you're sort of going up to people, just sort of introducing yourself. A lot of people sort of like shrug you away. But you do get a few names from different people. You get, you get a few names start swinging around. One of the names that you sort of pick up on, which you think you've heard before, is some by the name of Platyplax. They appear to be quite humanoid, as you might see them, but you have noticed that there's a few strange growths around them, but they're generally pretty civil, and they just wish you a good day, and they say that you love your work.
Cool.
So, yeah, you just got yourself maybe a little bit of a friend.
Nice.
Yeah, but anyway, with that being done, Mortimer Hanson begins to start rocking up. As mentioned, you probably felt him before you even saw him, which is surprising. But Mortimer turns up and goes, "Well, at least you got through. Well, you know, they really need to make the doors around here a bit bigger, eh? Yeah, the back door is really not that good. Anyway, let me show you to the paddock, okay? Come on, let's go." And he begins walking off. Is there anything else you would like to do before you walk off, though?
Not really.
Kosh has no interest in the other beings here. He proceeds along with Hanson.
Fair enough, then. As you go by, you obviously see many of the paddocks, some of them a bit more illustriously presented as opposed to others. You see a few different other names, like, the red slashes, anything like that. You also see one of the more prestigious teams, Fenar Operable, also working. But you do get over to your paddock. Now, it's not what you expected. As you might have gathered, Mortimer did not exactly get things up to scratch, as there is still very much the old banners from another team currently still occupying the area. You see sort of a team called Calcatl has still a large amount of branding everywhere. And it was sort of at this time, Hanson turns around and goes, "Well, so we are just borrowing this for now, but don't you worry, if we get our racing good today, well, no, tomorrow, we will most certainly have ourselves an own sort of area to work in. Don't worry, the Calcatl guys are just having a bit of a relax for the next race. But, yeah, get yourselves comfortable. Obviously, Super Speed, your car's just back there, and, Kosh, your car will just be over here once it does get delivered at night. Once again, great apologies. I didn't think it was going to be an issue. It was, but I am fixing it for now. But, yeah, there isn't really too much more to the hangar right now, but once you're done with what you're doing here, I've got a bit more for you to talk with you about in regards to how I want you guys to perform tomorrow. As, I am your manager, and you were quite an investment, so come find me once you're done with what you're doing." And Hanson walks through one of the corners and starts inspecting some of the banners and just sort of tugging at them a bit, making a few phone calls. But obviously for now, unfortunately, Kosh, you don't have your vehicle, but Super Speed, you do. Would you like to explain your car a little bit, actually?
Yeah, I immediately run to my car, which is a very pinpoint spiked car with a massive thruster on the back.
Yes, indeed.
Mostly white with very faded flames on the thruster. And it doesn't look very safe anymore.
Fair enough. But it is built for speed. Like, if we were to, maybe get a rough idea of, I don't know, a number to be assigned, you'd say it'd be all speed, wouldn't you?
Yes, all speed.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah, you get your car, and obviously it's in its condition. I wouldn't say the best, but it's in its condition. But with that, Kosh, you obviously see Hanson taking a few phone calls.
Yeah, and I'm kind of looking in his direction, sort of wondering what the hell is he doing.
You just sort of wait.
Kosh takes a little bit of offense to his vehicle being quarantined the way that it is, but he also understands that these beings need to be certain of their health, seeing as they are as fragile as they are, so...
Yeah, there's been a few instances where, things got through and things got a bit invasive, They heard there's a new sort of thing called a badger that's been about. Really invasive, actually, quite bad. It's
Let me put it
pretty
to you
bad.
this way. There's a very good reason why you never see any Ethereans participating in this race.
Indeed. But yeah, Tansen finished off some of his phone calls and slowly begins to walk over.
Alright, so let's talk plan, shall we? Now, quite frankly, when it does come to this race, I only really want one thing. Just get above 5th. Because, you know, like they say, like, you know, a podium finish is great, but if we can at least get a 4th or a 5th spot, that would be great.
The
Yeah.
tides of fate do not bend to your will. We will do as well as we will.
Indeed, but just bear in mind, if you get 5th, we're going to be really good. If you get a bit lower, that's fine, but just bear in mind, we are renting this place. We need to get our own place, you know, situated, because, put it this way, there's always a very great Undertale story of how, you know, you steal a place, and you then hop right in, and then you're the cool kids this time, and then you get given a place later. Trust me, that's how most of the old world rock stars used to work. So, that's what we're doing here. It's more just about getting our names out there, so to speak. But that's generally the idea that I need you guys to do for tomorrow's race. Oh, I should probably tell you about what I got you signed up for. Right. So I don't know too much about the planet itself. It's like a bunch of gibberish numbers, like X496 or something. I don't care. But one thing I should know, maybe bring some ice packs, but it's gonna be hot. Its entire surface is basically covered in magma. So for the love of God, try not to die there. Or get ejected. The rescue teams will take a minute, but just try not to.
It'll be fine. I'm always cold.
That sounds like an issue.
Ha!
The environment is immaterial to success.
Exactly, I like your attitude. Perfect. So, yeah, as you know as well, it might be that a few parts of it are a bit more melted than usual, but, yeah, no, it should be a fine race. It shouldn't be anything too crazy. Not too many hairpoint turns. That's one of the things I learned. You know, not many, you know, like V turns or anything like that. Yeah, no, it should be great. It should be great. Yeah, I think we're done here, actually. So, you know, you now have access to the hangar area. You know, you got your little IDs, right?
Yeah, probably.
The security bot didn't give them to you?
We have not received the IDs.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Give me a moment. Tansen walks off and about 5 minutes later has come back with some just little IDs that you can put around your neck. They basically just give it to you, Kosh.
All right. You see a glowing tendril emit from the cloak that's below his suit. Up and grab it, and it disappears in the suit somewhere. You can't really tell where.
Tansen just sort of looks and goes,
Well, that'd be useful. Well, at least you got your IDs to come back in when need be. So, yeah, it's gonna start getting late, but if you want to do any modifications to your vehicle, Super Speed, you can. Kosh, if you want to get a lay of the land and maybe work out where some of the mechanics are to maybe improve in the future, you can. But I do have yourselves some rooms, you know, situated in a motel nearby. It's not the what they say, the Ritz, but it's still pretty good. You're not gonna get stabbed or anything that way, so it's fine. But yeah, I think with that we'll probably meet each other back here sometime around tomorrow. If we can meet you about 2 hours after the sunrise, that could be great, as you know, your car will be here, Kosh, so you can begin working on that.
Acceptable. We will convene at the hour of scampering.
Perfect. Well, that's been me. I got some phone calls to make, but I'm sure you guys got your own vehicles that you can deal with and get your own way to walk back to the motel. Yeah, it's just down one of the streets down there. You take a left and then a right, and then you take another left and then another right, and then it's just a bit more of a straight, but you take a right and then a left. You can't miss it, trust me. But anyway, I'll be leaving you guys later. So yeah, see you around.
Goodbye, Tanner.
It's Tansen.
Sure thing.
As Tansen walks away, I wait for him to get out of earshot, and then I turn to Super Speed and say,
A jester amongst a legion of kings. You're willing to trust this entity.
Yeah, he seems nice enough. I can't see very well, but it's fine.
You cannot see as well. And you are participating in this.
All instinct, baby.
I see. Well, may the fates weigh in your favor, then.
I then turn away and start surveying the lay of the land.
Indeed. Well, as previously mentioned, you are still in the hangar area. I will just say for the sake of it, your paddock is relatively small, but it is still well, situated. There are repair bots there. There isn't exactly a security bot, but there is like just a general gate that would make it a bit harder for people to get into. But yeah, no, you still see a bunch of people milling around. Time hasn't passed too far, and you know that most mechanics at least would be working until very late. But the hangar is just generally a very large open box. There isn't a lot to look at. There aren't even that many places to get food from. It's generally see that you get it on your way in, which you did. So at least Hanson did that for you.
Okay then.
If you have any other questions, yeah.
I then go over to where my paddock ought to be, and then I sort of seem to go into a bit of an idle stance, as though I were meditating or something like that. I seem to be somewhat unresponsive unless I'm directly addressed.
Fair enough then. Well, with you doing that, Super Speed, what are you doing?
I'm just going over to my car, really. Just checking it out. Kinda weirdly hugging it.
You do get some strange looks come by. One person even comes up to you and goes, "Dude, do you really think it's gonna run, bro?"
It'll be fine. 80 years long I've ridden. I don't... Who are you again?
Dude, it's just I mean, look, I don't worry about my name, but old timer, don't you live until like 80 odd years or something?
I'll live forever, I think.
Right. Well, can I highly recommend, bro, that you take a look at your exhaust, because your exhaust seems a little bit backed up with... Is that grease?
That's on purpose.
Right, bro. Well,
But be seeing ya.
yeah, no, be seeing you later. Bye. And it sort of quickly walks off, very confused, as you are still hugging your car. Is there anything else you want to do with your car? Or are you just going to be hugging it for a period of time?
I quickly look around while no one's looking, and then quickly check out the exhaust pipe, just for a second.
Yep, fair enough. Just like you left it, there's grease.
Good.
Anything else you'd like to do about the grease, or would you like to grease it up more, grease it up less?
No, it's perfect.
Perfect then. Alright, well, how about we say that a few hours pass, and it's starting to get into the later sections of the day. You've obviously been spending your times in the paddocks, just generally showing that, you're here, so to speak. So at least you've made your general presence known. But, yeah, it is definitely starting to get a little bit later now. If you have any other business to go to, you can. As you probably know as well, in Creative City, there is a large bustling market area for a variety of different mechanics and different types of tradespeople. If you're looking for something car-related, this is definitely the place to go. The only issue is you might not have the funds for it right now. But if you ever want to take a perusal, you certainly can.
Kosh is not going to pursue this. He prefers to avoid crowds if possible.
Fair enough then. Would you like to just stay in your paddock, or would you like to start getting down to the downtime of everything?
For the time being, I'll just stay in my paddock.
Fair enough then. Perfectly fine. But yeah, it starts getting later, and Super Speed, up to you.
I'll stay here for now.
Fair enough. It starts to get even darker. No, sorry. Nah, it's fine. Yeah, no, a lot of people are now starting to filter out now, as you might notice. It's generally the idea that the working rates have started to end off now, but you still get a few people around just milling around with a few tiny bits. Some people a bit more determined than others. But things are definitely quieting down in the hangar area. One good thing about it is the fact that the hangar doesn't ever really close. It's just more that, the general presence around it is a bit more relaxed at night.
Mm-hmm. At this point, Kosh kind of emerges from his meditation, and without any one specific directive, seeing as he only came here for a singular purpose, he kind of just sort of hangs out with Super Speed. He doesn't really know where else to go at this point.
Fair enough, yeah. Nah, I mean, obviously as well, there is the motel available and, a few other areas, but unfortunately for you, Kosh, you don't have your car right by, so, yeah. It's a damn shame that quarantine happened.
Well, small organics, what can you do?
Yeah, what can you do? But if there is no other business, you can certainly head back to your yeah, no, don't worry. Yeah, if there is no other business, you can certainly head back to your motel and try to sleep the night away.
Kosh is going to go back to the motel, but he's not going to sleep, so...
Fair enough. Wait for Cheese to get back, and then we'll see what Super Speed would like to do with the downtime, as it's definitely now, at this point, getting towards more night. You've basically spent your days around the hangar, getting yourself a bit more situated with it, getting a general lay of the land, any tools that you might need to know, just general things about the hangar. You notice a few little patterns on like how people move and things like that. Fast lane, slow lane, so on and so forth.
Kosh returns to his motel room. You immediately notice that all of the curtains close at once and the door locks. You then see a rather ominous light blue glow coming from the windows, which kind of illuminates somewhat sharply for about 15 seconds and then goes immediately dark. There is no longer any activity in the room.
Alright then. Fair enough. Well, Kosh seems situated. Super Speed. It's starting to
Yes.
get dark.
I just get inside of my car and fall asleep.
Would you like to sleep in your car?
Yeah.
Fair enough then. Well, with that, the first day of getting to know everything about the hangar is done with, and soon the sun begins to rise. And then a few hours later, it's a bit brighter. But yeah, as mentioned by Tansen, if you could try to get around the hangar to be prepared sometime 2 hours before, 2 hours after the sunrise, that's generally the idea he'd want. But luckily, you're already there, Super Speed.
Yes.
Kosh also makes his way over.
Right. Kosh, before you do get over there, though, you are sort of leaving your room and getting ready to move, but you notice that there's a figure down the other end of the hall. Quite a large figure, actually. At least about 8 foot tall.
Do I recognize this? Go ahead.
Yeah, they start to approach you, and you don't recognize them by any form of facial features, as their facial features are just stone. They are also wearing a suit and they have a badge on. They begin to approach you, and here goes the rest of it.
Are you Kosh? Well, if I must explain myself, I am Agent Stone. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Kosh.
Well, nice to see you, Kosh. That is a good affirmation. So we heard about some of the issues with your quarantining, but that's not what we're interested in right now. I work for an agency, and we would actually like your help. We need someone like you, someone who isn't really known in the circuit, to help us out a bit. We can repay you if you do said help.
All lines of eyes that Kosh have kind of squint a bit. He remains silent but attentive.
Fair enough. The man seems relatively unfazed, but
Can you... It's kind of hard to make it out, sorry, what you're saying. Could you probably
Yeah.
increase the pitch by a couple of bits? It's kind of hard
Yeah,
to hear
yeah.
what he's
Yeah,
saying.
will do. Sorry, I'm just sorting that out.
Okay.
How's this? Is this a bit better?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, yeah, I'll turn a bit more. There we go. So I'm just trying to block out the voices a bit. How's that? Is that any better? Right, perfect. Look, I have 7 volts, 1,800 crits available, as well as some information on some of the vendors around here, and some of their practices. Should you help me out with the issue of 1 racer? Are you interested?
The affairs of other organizations do not interest me. You may conduct your own espionage.
Look, if you want to go anywhere in here, you're going to need all the help you can get. I'm providing you help. Might want to rethink.
I then kind of turn around rather sharply, and I kind of squint at you. The blue in my eyes kind of turn red.
Never ask that question. Your affairs do not interest me, mortal. Leave now.
Fair enough. You know, I was going to offer you a fair bit of cash just for, making sure someone doesn't get to the podium, but you do you.
I then, without even saying anything else, turn away and start heading towards wherever super speed is. Somewhat
Fair enough.
offended by some lower being trying to solicit me for something which I would perceive to be illicit, so that would jeopardize my position in the race, and frankly, I don't really want to attend this for monetary value, so.
Fair enough then. Indeed, the agent begins to walk away down the other section. But yeah, you find your way back over to the hangar. As you have noticed, Super Speed is still very much in the car they slept in.
I don't even open the window. Super Speed all of a sudden hears a voice in his head.
Beware he with no face. His intentions are not pure.
Oh, and gosh. Oh, good morning.
We may have enemies already. Be aware.
I see. Oh, okay. Super Speed gets out of the car.
Fair enough. It's probably about 30 or so minutes before you're meant to meet with Hanson, so you've got a little bit of time in case, but if there is nothing else you'd like to do, Hanson can walk through at any moment now.
Has the Lotus been delivered yet?
Funnily enough, the Lotus is currently you sort of know that when it comes to cars that they're generally teleported in. As you're sort of waking up Super Speed, you do notice that the general beams that show a possible teleportation are happening where your Paddock would be. And after about a few minutes or so, the Lotus is in fact in front of you. Or behind, depending on how you're facing.
I turn to face it. And I go to approach the vehicle. And an appendage appears from in front of the vehicle. It kind of approaches me and unfolds into what appears to be some sort of eye. No noise is emitted whatsoever, but you can tell there's some sort of communication between the two entities.
Fair enough then. And sometime after this initial connection is made, you hear the door slide open once more. Then you hear the footsteps again of dear Mortimer Hanson walk in. Yeah, I know, I'm dealing with it. Yeah, it's here right now, okay? Come on, it's fine. I paid the guys for it. If they're saying I'm lying, they're bullshit. God fucking damn. Ah, it's here. Brilliant. Gosh, you gotta be happy now, right? I promised.
The vehicle is intact and unscathed.
Indeed. My best guys were on it, don't you worry. The quarantine people did not lay a single hand on it or get anywhere inside of it.
Good.
Perfect.
That would be tragic.
Indeed it would be. Indeed it would be. Anyway, where's Super Speed? I didn't see him in the room.
I'm here.
You slept in your car?
Maybe.
Oh shit, your son was looking for you.
Oh.
Okay. Well, oh yeah, no, fuck. Surprise, I invited your son along. They're in the VIP booth, but I can bring him down for a second if you want to say hi.
Yes.
Alright, yeah, sure, I'll go grab him. Put it this way, race starts in about an hour or so, but, I can quickly, see if they want to come down and at least wish you best of luck, at least. We're gonna be in the VIP booth watching from the screens. But, yeah. Alright then, give me one moment. And, Hanson decides to, walk away at a bit of a brisker pace.
Kosh decides to enter the Lotus de Sanguine. There are no apparent windows, windshields, or any other surface aside from the standard gravity rip engine equipment, which he had to install. Otherwise, it seems to be basically one solid carapace of a slightly light brownish color with certain spotted patterns that seem to shift from time to time. Sometimes these spotted patterns appear to form text. Kosh decides to enter the vehicle. An orifice sort of opens up into what appears to be a darkened void, like there's some sort of luminance dampening field around it. He enters, and then this orifice seals itself up without any seams whatsoever.
And so just so everyone can imagine, there's no windows or anything, so to speak. It's very much in its own encased kind of a carapace, as you said.
Yeah, basically.
Perfect. Yeah. Usually these vehicles as well are generally quite like Faraday cages, so when it comes to communications, really can only be done from within team radios. Even perhaps talking outside of them, you won't be able to hear much. But whether you are aware of it or not, Hanson does come back down, and with them is a much smaller, human-looking creature at first, but then you notice that there's a fair few different rat-like parts about them, and Speed, it is your son, Hyperspeed.
Hey.
They're sort of led
son.
over, and they sort of like just smile a bit meekly, like, "Oh, hey, Dad. Just wanting to wish you good luck, and yeah, just be safe. Yeah."
Thanks, son, but I don't need it. I'm Super Speed, the fastest man alive. Then Super Speed kind of does another stance.
Sure thing, Dad. Tanzan, can we go now, please? I was having a smoothie.
Goodbye, son.
And says, great kid, come on! And gives him a pat on the back. They immediately walk back up to the VIP booth. But once Hyperspeed is situated, Tanzan does come back with actually a small refreshment as well on their own end. It looks like a form of martini, but perhaps not with an olive, but with another stranger food item. Alright, so, where the fuck is Kosh? Well, I'll radio him later in on it. So, you ready for it, Super Speed? I've got a lot riding on this.
Oh, I'm ready.
Alright, perfect. Is the car all serviced? Everything good there? I know you said they didn't want people touching it, but, yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. It's always fine.
Alright, perfect. When you, next see Kosh, just tell him to make sure to be here in about 59 minutes and 20 seconds, because we got a race in that time, and the ground fields don't wait for no one. What?
You then suddenly hear a voice in your head.
I have always been here.
Alright, that is totally not disturbing. Well, if you can hear me, Kosh, you know when the race is, just be ready for then. I'll be heading into the VIP booth soon and telling dear Hyper about all of the exploits in the telecommunications company. Now, there's some crazy things I can tell him, but I won't. Anyway, boys, yeah, best of luck, okay?
Yeah.
Alright, sounds good. You'll be proud, yeah? And Hanson begins to walk off. Yet again, it's you two alone in the hangar. People are very much now in full swing, getting to their cars, doing last-minute adjustments to the vehicle. Platypalax actually comes over to you, Super Speed, and just sort of takes a silent look around.
Hey.
Just looking.
Okay.
This vehicle seems unsafe. Yes, no, vehicle is unsafe. Strange. You do notice that there are many parts of this vehicle falling off, correct?
So I like it that way.
Right. Okay.
I don't need those parts. I only need to go fast.
I see. Then go fast.
Yeah.
I have nothing else to say about this matter. I will now leave. As they head off
Goodbye.
again. But, unless there's any other information or any parts of business you would like to do, would you like to end our story section and prepare for the racing part?
I'm ready for the racing part.
I could do that.
Alright then. Well, for the sake of time, we will skip over a tiny bit, and as you may or may not know about Gravity Rip, as we've already practiced in our own time, Gravity Rip is obviously split up into its two sections. We each had our story section, where we introduce everyone and, get any whims dealt with. And now we have the part where we get ready for a race. Now, in the league, positions are generally done at random, so there are different intervals in which they are done, but each race will be assigned a different position. There are 20 races per race, so it's very much done with what they call the Lucky D20. Those are given to a player, and they will usually roll it, and whatever they get, they will then be teleported to. So, how about we see if you can now roll your D20s. I'm also actually going to roll a D20 myself for another person on the track. Someone who has already been sort of identified as a possible interest in this. Okay. So yeah, if you could roll yourself 1d20, this will be telling you where you are in the starting positions. This is the one time when it comes to everything that you actually want to roll low. So they have gotten that. Kosh, what have you got?
I rolled 6.
6, okay. Interesting. Okay, good. Kosh, you are this marker. So on mine right now, I just need to make sure I move everything to its correct positions. What are you at, Super Speed?
I am 9.
You are 9? Okay. Let me move that over. Yeah, as you get into your vehicles, basically every other sense of the outside world does begin to shut down. As you all prepare and you hear the communications from the Babylonis telecommunication flare up. And you hear the booming voice yet again of Mr. Hanson. Alright, so you all obviously know what's happening, but yeah, you're being teleported now. I think it's about the time that most managers give some form of support and, talking capability. You don't need that. So I'm just gonna say best of luck. Yeah, we're watching, so don't disappoint. Dancing out. And then you sort of feel the jolt as the vehicle actually teleports over, and then you also feel a bit of the heat. It's not, luckily your vehicles are pretty well insulated, but you definitely still feel the lava somewhere underneath you as you're teleported to the racetrack. Is there anything else you would like to say before I begin to describe the race?
No, Kosh has nothing to say here. He's ready.
Fair enough then. Just to let you know, obviously, what you can and can't do. When it does come to a racing area, you can talk to each other as much as you need to, as that your telecommunications allow. Talking to any other racer on the track is not allowed, unless you have somehow worked out a way to get around it. But for now, what you have is that, and your controls are relatively analog. There is no form of auto-driving, and you are going to be going about 1,000 kilometers per second in about 0.5 seconds. Driving your basically British tank-sized vehicles over a molten magma course, with the only thing keeping you in being these quite damaging light barriers. But, with that being said, Things start to heat up, quite literally, as the gravity rip engines in all of your cars begin to flare. You prepare for what is going to be quite an explosive start. And so, you're all watching and waiting, and waiting. You see the traffic lights, because they still use them as a timely old tradition. You see them blink. 5, 4, 3, 2... Gosh.
Yes.
You hear an explosion. Now, you are an experienced racer, but you've never had an explosion happen during one of the starting parts here. This is quite unprecedented.
Curious.
Is there any way for me to tell where the explosion came from?
Yes, there is. You do have some senses of where it came from, and you could generally get a rough idea that it would have been somewhere behind you, although not too far.
Interesting. I attempt to contact Super Speed.
Be advised, something has detonated on the track. Can you see what it is? Speed, you must respond.
As at this point, Hanson comes over. You then hear Hanson over radio. What the hell just happened down there?
You explain. You are on the outside.
Well, I know what I'm seeing, but I don't want to goddamn believe it! God fucking damn it! You know, go.
Was it Speed?
It's Speed! Fuck! And we'll go over to the VIP suite, where...
Unacceptable.
Indeed. That is the thing we hear as we go over to the VIP booth, where a very lavishly adorned area is in a bit of a state, as Mortimer is currently throwing around many pieces of furniture. Hyperspeed, you are there, and what are you doing as Mortimer is quite frankly breaking down at this point?
I'm watching in shock and disbelief.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mortimer isn't helping, but he's like, yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, that was like one goddamn good investment. I didn't know if Kosh was any good, but I knew that he was. God fucking damn it. Hyperspeed, hey, buddy. Hey, talk to me. Hello?
My.
Yeah, he's gone. I know, I'm pissed. Look.
I leave the
Fuck.
vehicle.
You can't.
Through a different orifice.
The issue is once you're on the track, there is no way to leave. Much like what has happened with your overdrives, they have currently been disabled. It appears that the League has a way to deal with that as well. You do get a message go through your system, though, saying that you soon be teleported back to the hangar, and that you are told to please stay tight, and you get some elevator music playing. That is unfortunately it.
The patterns on my vehicle, they seem less faded, and they seem more rigid, as though the vehicle and Kosh himself were now agitated.
Now, bear in mind, Hanson wasn't over the intercoms about this. This is him ranting in the VIP suite. But, nonetheless, Hanson immediately goes over to you, Hyperspeed. Hyper, listen to me. Listen to me, buddy. I am so sorry for your loss. He was a great guy. Real great guy. You know, character. Worth a lot. Good guy, you know. He was a good guy, right? Yeah, he was a good guy. Hey, buddy, listen. I usually this doesn't happen, so we got an hour to clear up the entire track as there's a lot out there. I can't see anything down there of him. So here's what we're gonna do. You got a car, right?
What?
You got a car, right?
But my...
Good. Well, don't worry about it, Hyperspeed, because you're gonna race for me now.
What?
I paid for a speed. I'm going to get a speed. Do you understand me?
My father just died.
Yeah, and I bet your daddy would want you to be racing, right?
Well, I guess, but no.
Look, Hyper, think about it, okay? The great story. The son who saw his father die, coming back and winning. Imagine that. Picture it. Look out there, son. It's a world of opportunity. Come on. You just gotta take it.
Hyper almost starts crying.
Hey, look, it's okay, but look. Well, no, it's not okay, but you got an hour. Tell me where your car is. I get it. We bring it back here, and everything will be fine, you know? You get your race.
I really don't want to race.
Hyperspeed, you gotta. Hanson's looking you dead in the eyes with a predatory gaze. You gotta, boy.
Hyperspeed looks very scared.
Do we understand each other?
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Don't worry, you'll be paid for this. There was a pension put in order, so you'll get that. Now, how about we head back down and you don't tell anyone what's been set up here and that you are more than willing to race for us, because I believe our dear Kosh is going to be coming back soon. So let's go meet them, shall we, pal? This is going to be a great partnership. And so we'll take you by the back and sort of usher you along. Kosh, you are finally transported back to the hangar. There are now a few sort of there's a lot of confusion now, as this doesn't happen that a gravity rip engine explodes even before the go symbol, or signal, so to speak. People are currently trying to clear up the track and actually get the bots ready for it, as they weren't prepared for such a possibility. So, you then see Hanson and Hyper come down. Kosh, great news! Wonderful news, Kosh! Hyper here has stepped up to the plate. They want to help us out here.
Hanson, you will explain what happened.
I don't know what happened. His car fucking exploded. I said, you know, did you check it? I don't know what happened. I said, did he check his car over? He said, yep, and apparently it's fucking gone. Granted, it was a bit wriggly, but goddamn.
Unacceptable.
I know it's unacceptable. I'm pissed. But look, we got another thing sorted out here. Don't worry, race is still going on. You're still gonna have you still gonna have a buddy here. Oh, Hyperspeed's gonna help you out. Isn't that right, Hyper?
I look at Hanson for a second with fear in my eyes and I go, yeah.
That's the spirit, boy. Alright, hey, Hyper, give me the codes to your car and I'll text them over to my agents.
Right.
Yeah, now, you hand him over to Hanson. He immediately goes on to a phone call and walks away. As he walks away, he does lock eyes with you for a moment in a knowing glare. But immediately walks away, going, yeah, it's 425. As now you are
away
left.
into a corner.
I observe you in your inferior state, and I kind of just decide to stand between Mortimer and you, seeing as you obviously want no part of this, and quite frankly, Kosh kind of feels responsible a little bit now, so.
Mortimer is on the other end of the hangar right now, trying to deal with things, so for the sake of all intents and purposes, you are out of earshot if you want to talk about anything.
Are you well?
Yeah, sure.
You did not want to participate.
No, I'm participating.
By his right.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I shrink away a little more.
Know this. The fates may at once sway in your favor. Fear not what comes next. Greatness is thrust upon people. Learn to hone it.
And with that, Kosh turns away.
Indeed. Everyone is sort of out of their carts right now, just like trying to get some information of what happened. You even get a few racers sort of come over to your areas, but are sort of immediately ushered away by Tanson's large frame as they are still on the phone. So Tanson's still outside there, but things are sort of communicated, and you hear, alright, you got it? Good. Get that shit over here now, okay? You understand? We got, 15 minutes. Come on, get moving. And after about 5 minutes, you see the ray once more of teleportation come through. And soon, you see another car come through. A bit more sturdy than the last, but Piper, how about you tell us about light speed?
It's a super speed bought the car for his son, so it isn't exactly to his liking. It's a purple shaped car, purple car shaped like kind of like a doorstop, with a big lightning strike on the side of it. There's also kind of a weird sticker that his dad put on it, some very old character.
Mm-hmm. One that we'll never ever know the name of.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as the car comes down, Tanson finishes up the phone call, goes, alright, you got your car? Good. Hyperspeed. I don't need to brief you up the track too much, but yeah, it's hot. Make sure you're driving good. You know how to drive this thing, right? Actually, no, it doesn't matter. You're fine. Alright. Everybody places people. You're gonna get back in the position. You're gonna get your dead spot. Everything's gonna be fine. Just don't think about the fact you're gonna be literally in the only place where your dad died. Don't think about that. I'm gonna go back to the VIP booth and get a martini. I fucking need it. And Tanson immediately walks off.
Cruelty with a face of stone. Use committing a mortal transgression.
Mm-hmm.
Kosh has grown to have a very low opinion of Mortimer at this point.
Mm-hmm. Wouldn't blame you. But the show must go on, and if you are getting into your cars, we'll actually get into the racing section.
All right. I kind of just roll with it at this point.
Fair enough. So, at this point, you are all in your cars in whatever way you do so, and you're all teleported over to the track. Hoping this time there won't be the same mistake. But, as it goes on, the lights go out, and there's no explosion. The only thing left to do is go. So, with this, we are finally at our racing section, and now I need to put on a bit of ambience music for the stream. Unfortunately, I don't have the music here. I'll get that sorted. My apologies. But, in case you don't know, Gravity Rip is basically split up into these two sections, and this is now the main part where everything is dealt with on the track in two turns, the helicam phase and the maneuvers phase. So the helicam phase generally has a general idea of what happens on a larger scale, and maneuvers is more for closer contact races and issues that may arise. But with that, you all are in your positions and your Gravity Rip engines fly. Now, looking at what I have marked, the rival that you would not know, Kosh, but that you might actually see yourself, Hyper. You've seen your dad maybe speak to him a few times. It's someone who you might have heard called something like Platty. They are going to immediately accelerate first. They are looking to advance. So, in Gravity Rip, unfortunately, the people in the start go first, and Platty got the position of 6th. So, they are just ahead of you, Kosh.
I see.
Wait, Platty got 6th?
Yeah.
But
Actually, I got 6th.
Oh,
Yeah.
you did? Oh, sorry, my apologies. No, fuck, sorry. Scrap that then. Kosh, you go first. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong thing. Sorry, my bad.
Alright.
Yeah, no, sorry about that.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
my bad. Anyway, Kosh,
Don't worry about it.
nothing is in front of you, but there's a guy behind you who you might recognize. I don't know.
Can you give me just 1 second? Someone is knocking on my door.
Yep, sure, perfectly fine. In this time, I'm happy to answer any questions that are in the Twitch chat or anything like that. Yeah, I apologize for that mistake. I looked at the wrong dot. Because I basically have it in like paint.net, and I haven't exactly put like letters on them or anything, because it just needs to be tokens. But yeah, so this is our first helicam phase, and to everyone who doesn't know, this involves moves like advance, hold, or retreat. As in this phase, what you can do is either try to move up the pack, hold your position in the pack, or try to fall down the pack. There are many things you can do. Was that explosion planned? No comment.
All right. Well,
Yep.
I can move up if I wanted to, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you can advance. So you're in the 6th position. It is technically possible you could immediately get to 1st. But you got to bear in mind that the pack will fight back. If you want to as well, you can hold your position to make sure that no other racers get by you. Or if you want to, you can retreat a number of positions if you want to perhaps go near to another racer. It's up to you what you want to do at this point.
You know what? I'm going to start off by trying to read the room, and I'm going to try and maintain my position for the time being.
Alrighty, so you want to hold your position.
I shall hold.
And fair enough. So as the racing goes off, Kosh, obviously with you piloting your vehicle, you're exactly accelerating to try and get through the pack, but you're trying to hold your position within it. Now, what you need to do here is I need you to roll a d6 plus your weight modifier. So let's actually explain modifiers in Gravity Rip a bit more. As you can see, each vehicle has its own stats as well. When it comes down to Gravity Rip, your weight is how robust your car is. Not only does it impact your integrity, but it also impacts your ability to keep your position and to defend yourself. Acceleration is quite self-explanatory in the case that, you know, you go fast and you try to overtake well. So these are the two stats that you got to balance out. Each player starts with 4 extra dots, and as you notice, we've got some generally pretty balanced things around here. But anyway, so your weight, if I remember correctly, Kosh, is 0, right?
Yep, so it's just a 1d6 if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it's just a 1d6. So if you roll that, and then I will be rolling the fight back.
Well, shit.
Yep. That, unfortunately, I rolled a 2. So, now this doesn't mean you're going to fall back, but this means that you weren't able to hold. So as you're in the pack, you realize that there's quite a lot of ferocity in it. Perhaps you weren't quite expecting just this much different varied levels of fighting from the minor leagues, but you find it quite hard to try and keep people from going around you, so to speak. But you don't know if you're going to lose any spots just yet, unfortunately. But that is what you can do for now.
Kosh is somewhat disappointed at the ferocity. One would expect these species to be more evolved than this.
Indeed, the League can be quite brutal. They even have collector's cards of things that have happened and people who died. So, bear it in mind. But, with that being said, we are going to have our dear rival go now, as they are trying to get around you. You see a vehicle called the SSC Wolverine come by. It's a grey charcoal kind of speedster vehicle. Funny enough, it looks like it's very much built more for speed as opposed to anything weight-wise. So, what Platty here is going to do is they are going to try and advance. So, when it comes to advancing, what this involves is rolling a d6 and adding your acceleration, then you minus the pushback. So, I'm going to roll a d6. That's a 5. So that is going to be the possible places that could be gotten, but let's see how the pack fights back. That is a 2. Okay, so it's going to happen with Platty. Platty is going to... So what happens here is that the pushback is 2, so you cannot go up 5 unless you decide to take integrity damage. So the most you can go is 3 without any integrity damage, but what Platty is actually going to do is take 1 integrity damage and move up to 4 spaces. So that is going to be them somewhere over there. So as you probably would see, Kosh, you are trying to hold your position, but you're having a bit of a hard time right now. You even see Platty's vehicle go by you. They don't exactly do anything to try and slight you, they just move on by, taking advantage of the chaos of the pack. But they are somewhere now ahead of you. That is something I will happily let you know about. But,
okay then.
Indeed. With that, we will move to our other racer, Hyperspeed. How are you feeling?
Terrible.
Yep. What would you like to do? Aside from cry. I'm sorry.
Speed is very nervous.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, unsure of himself.
Yeah.
But he's currently right in the middle of the pack, which he really doesn't like. So he's going to try to move up.
Okay, perfect. So, I've speed. You're going to try and accelerate. In that case, I want you to roll a d6 and add your acceleration. I will then roll for the pushback.
A +2, right?
That is 1d6 plus 2, yes, because you have a bit more acceleration. Ooh, okay.
Hey,
I
there you
rolled
go.
it. Okay, I rolled a 3. So, you could move up 8 if you want to sacrifice any integrity, but I rolled a 3, so you can easily go up 5 positions. It's up to you what you want to do here. Do you want to lose any integrity, or do you want to just go up those 5?
I'll go up just a 5.
Alright, perfect. So, as you're sort of speeding up, perhaps you had a bit of a knack to this after all. As you don't quite... As something just seems to click a little bit, and you're like, oh yeah, okay, I can go through here. And you move up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions. Kosh as well, unfortunately. You do also see hyperspeed go by you, and hyperspeed, you actually see the person that your father was talking to is actually just right ahead of you. But that being said, let me tell you about the general exact positionings of where people are. So after a generally pretty rough race, what happened here is that some people fell back, some people pushed forward. Platty got a very good head start and was able to get around a Kosh who was trying to defend. But they are currently in 3rd, and close behind them now is Hyper in 4th. Kosh, you are actually not too far away in your position of 6th. So, Hyper, I will say, for the sake of Mortimer, you are above the position that you need to be. So that's a very good start, actually, a very good start. Now,
Yeah, Hyper is relieved.
indeed, you are doing Mortimer proud. You even actually hear a small transition going, that's right, keep going, kid.
Hyper does not care about Mortimer.
Yep. Perfect. But, yeah, with that being done, we'll
Kosh
move
is
over...
keeping his...
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No,
Well,
no,
I
sorry,
was just going
continue.
to comment. Kosh is kind of keeping his eyes on hyperspeed here.
Yeah.
Kind of just making sure he's all right.
Yeah, perfect. At least from what you've seen, hyperspeed has really taken off. They have not had too much of an issue getting up to their position right now. But, with that being said, we will now go to the maneuvers phase. So this is where it comes to the closer combat of everything. So, we are going to start with Platty, as unfortunately they are ahead of everyone right now. Platty... Now, as you can obviously know with Platty's vehicle, they are more built towards speed as opposed to anything. So, they are simply just going to try and get as far up the front as possible to have as few issues as possible. So what they are going to do is that they are going to try and roll to beat the person ahead. The person ahead is going to be a vehicle that is like that. Okay. So, these are just going to be some rolls on my end to see how they do. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, that'll be fine. Perfect. So, I will say this, Hyperspeed. What you can see is that, Platty is quite agile in the car. They seem to be very capable of holding it to more than just a human level. They are actually able to overtake the person that is in front of them, and they are now ahead of you. What would you like to do now, Hyperspeed?
Sorry, what are my options again?
You can either overtake, slam, or block.
Because I don't want to block Kosh.
I will say as well, if you are going to do any form of blocking or holding, you can let teammates go by. If it is up to you,
Okay.
You can do that.
Kosh will not take offense if you block him, since we're on the same team.
Also, if you'd like to know anything about the vehicle ahead of you or vehicle behind, please do let me know and I can give you some info. Obviously, the vehicle ahead of you is one that Platty just went by.
Just quickly, both of them.
Alright, perfect. I'll tell you this much. The vehicle in front of you is a relatively balanced vehicle by the name of a Fury Star. You're not quite sure of the racer that was in that, but also behind you is a vehicle by the name of a Battlehawk, which is very much built for speed. It's painfully similar to your father's vehicle.
Oh. Soon as Hyper notices that, he wants to move further ahead to get away from it.
Fair enough, then. So ahead of you is the Fury Star. Would you like to try and overtake?
Yes.
Right, in that case, I want you to roll a d6 plus your acceleration. I'm going to roll a d6 plus the opponent's weight modifier. So, let's see what we get. Okay, you probably got this. Oh yeah, no, you've got this completely. I rolled a 1. So, you have no issue. The racer is a bit heated in their car, needless to say, after Platty simply overtakes them with ease. Hyper, how are you overtaking this person?
It's unsure, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, I don't know how to describe it very well.
Are you sort of just like trying to gingerly make your way by, trying not to be noticed too much as they're in their own head?
Yeah.
They do notice you, and they just lock eyes with you. And while she can't exactly see them, you see anger. So that's interesting.
Kind of sink into my seat a little bit.
Mm-hmm. The Fury Star is truly living up to its name. So, with that then, let's move on to Kosh. Kosh, what would you like to do?
Let's see. Do I have the opportunity to overtake the people in front of me?
Yes, you do. The vehicle in front of you is actually the vehicle that was behind Hyper, which is known as, what did I call it? The Battlehawk. It is a very fast car, but it isn't built for weight.
I see.
So what I will say is that when it does come to overtaking, the opponent has to roll their weight modifier, and you have to roll your acceleration to try and not be overtaken. So they will have a -1.
I see. In that case, I'm going to go ahead and try and overtake it.
Fair enough then. All right, what's your roll?
Let's see.
Okay.
It's supposed to be a d6 plus 2 for my acceleration, right? I came up with a 3.
All right, let's see what I roll. I got a 4.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
I'm sorry. That's with a modifier. Gosh, you're maybe a little bit frazzled right now as everything that just happened to you. Not only did you just lose the person you were talking to in a bar not only a day ago, but hyperspeed is actually doing well, so maybe you're getting some conflicting signals, but you're trying to overtake this other racer, yet the velocity is really something right now. You just can't seem to quite get by. They are definitely trying to work, though, to keep ahead of you. That's for sure. You can't obviously see who is in the car, but they at least have some capability of controlling it. Unfortunately, you do not move over. But if it means anything, they didn't try to slam you afterwards.
Fair enough. All right, then. Well, if that's the way it works.
Righty. Well then, with that lap 1 being done, lap 2 begins. Now, let's just remind you what we can do here. On lap 2, what you have is known as overclocking. This is where you can sacrifice your integrity points to boost an aspect of what you do. So whether you're trying to advance, hold, or retreat, or overtake, slam, and block, you can overclock. Well, not retreat, because, you just go back whenever. But you can now overclock. So if you would like to sacrifice any integrity points to add a modifier to your roll, you can. But we are going to start with our dear Platty. They, much like every other racer, just wants to get ahead. So they are actually just going to try and accelerate and see if they can get to the top. Okay. Interesting. Right. Platty is having a very good race right now. They are not facing many issues. As Hyper, you see them push the former number 1 ahead of you. But that is what you currently see right now. What would you like to do now, Hyper? As the former number 1 is now looking at you, and you're almost getting deja vu of another time this may have happened. Just the last lap. Bear in mind as well, you can overclock this.
Yeah, I like I said, just try to move forward.
Alright,
Hyper doesn't really want to risk anything.
Fair enough, and you just want to overclock. That is fair enough. If you roll your acceleration, I will roll for the pushback. Okay. Okay. Interesting. I'll tell you this much. I rolled a 1 again. So, you're doing pretty good here, as this is now interesting. Let me just check something in the rulebook, as you may or may not be vying for first place.
Damn, alright.
Yeah, so congratulations. I just need to check something really quickly as to check where things lie here. Okay. Yeah. You know, as soon as Platty got into first, you just ripped by. You immediately go by the other first, who is not too happy with that as well, but the pack is a bit weaker over here at least, as they appear to be not quite as damaged from before. So perhaps they're a bit lax, but you move up to a point where you see no one ahead of you right now. So, congratulations.
More and more nervous.
Indeed. You hear, you can also hear radio at times going, "Alright, pal, keep it going. And you end up here on Kosh's radio. Kosh, you need to try and get higher, boy, come on.
Be silent. I will function as I see fit.
I'm just saying.
And with that, I immediately cut the transmission.
Fair enough then. Do you just like rip out the telecommunicator?
No, I just cut power to it.
Fair
Actually,
enough,
I didn't even do that. Lotus did.
Fair enough then. Perfect. Anyway, speaking of you, Kosh, what would you like to do? You are currently in 6th position.
I'm in 6th. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to try and advance my position and try to stay above 5th if possible. Again,
Right,
I'm still trying to get a feel for all this.
Yeah, exactly. Perfectly fine. You know, you had a bit of a rough first lap, so yeah.
Yeah, you know, that and Ethereans are not used to being put in this kind of position. They're really more of like a contemplative, tranquil race. But
exactly. We'll see what you can do. Roll a d6 and add your acceleration. Okay.
D6 plus acceleration.
You're probably going to do pretty alright here, I'm just saying.
Ah, by all means. What was that, a 2? Here it is.
Nice.
Hey, that's
okay. This is very curious here now. I got a pushback of 2.
Okay.
So, you could move up your 6 if you want to take any integrity damage, but if you want to as well, you could simply go to 4 positions up.
I'll just go 4 positions up.
Right, you want to go 4 positions? Perfect. I will move you to that then.
All right. And my place is now, what, 2nd?
Yeah, you are now actually in 2nd place. You overtake the Platty person that was talking to Hyper a while ago. They sort of look at you a little bit miffed, but they sort of like look again, but you can't quite tell what they're planning, unfortunately. But now Platty is behind you, and all player counters here are actually in the top 3 podium positions.
Damn, all right.
Yeah.
And geez, you're ahead of me right now, right? So you're in 1st place.
Indeed. Hyper is in 1st place, but let me give you the general headicam idea of it. So, back in the pack, shit's fucking rough. Everyone's being slammed. Everyone is there's a fair few people already spun off the track. Everything is rough anywhere beyond 10th right now. But up in 10th is like, you know, like the high tax bracket, you know? Like, you guys are doing pretty okay. You have not taken too much damage at all, if any. You're doing just fine. Platty at first was at 1st, but then immediately gets overtaken by the 2 of you. They're a little bit pissed, but they're fine. They're in 3rd. That's still a podium position. That's all they wanted, as that's what they wanted after all. You then have Kosh in the 2nd position with Hyper heading the pack. Hyper, you don't exactly see people ahead of you, so you can't exactly lap anyone right now, but you are at the head of it, and you are in maneuvers phase where you can either, well, you can't really overtake, but if you wanted to, you could slam Kosh, or you could block to try and stop people from overtaking you from there. Or if you want to, you can just move back.
I'll just block anyone but Kosh.
That is perfectly fine. Okay.
And also, I want to radio Kosh that it's okay if they want to overtake me.
Acknowledged, but unnecessary.
All right, perfect. So usually with a block, so this is more like a hold, but usually what happened with a block is it would cause someone to try and go by. But Kosh, you're not planning to go by Hyper, are you?
No, we're collaborating, so.
In that case, what we can say is that you just block, and we don't actually need to roll anything here, since you are not trying to actively push Hyper out of the race.
Nope, I'm not trying to block I'm not trying to block Hyper, just anyone that's trying to take our position.
Perfect.
Basically the same thing he's doing.
Indeed, perfect. Well, in that case, we now come to you. Would you like to block as well?
What, who, me?
Yeah, you. As you are in the second place with Platty right behind you.
Well, Platty tries to overtake me, I'm going to block him.
Okay, so you're doing a block. Well, I'll tell you right now, they are definitely trying to overtake.
Okay, in that case, I shall retaliate accordingly.
In
So,
that
what am I
case,
rolling here?
I would like for you to roll a d6 plus your weight modifier, and Platty is going to roll their d6 plus their acceleration modifier.
Yeah.
Okay. Unfortunately, I also got a 6.
I see.
Plus 2.
What?
Oh.
Yeah. Now, what happens here is that okay, so from this point, there isn't really too much that happens aside from the fact that you are not able to hold it, and Platty simply overtakes you.
Alright then.
So you try to keep Platty at bay, but they were quite nimble. The machine doesn't look like the most nimble car, but they seem to drive it in a way that they're almost in tune with it. So you are very much capable of being pushed back. Now, Platty also has their turn. Platty's out for blood right now. They had first, and they like the taste. So I would like for you, Hyper, to roll a d6 plus your weight, as they are going to attempt a slam against you.
Oh,
Right, perfect.
Hey.
Yeah, no, that's perfectly fine. So, what happens here is the fact that they try to slam into you, but what you end up actually doing is just going ahead a tiny bit more. And as they try to slam into you, they sort of curve into the light barrier, actually. And you see a large array of sparks start to shake off of them. And they end up losing 2 extra integrity.
like to
As they
imagine,
fail to slam.
like to imagine I didn't even notice.
Maybe
I'm sorry,
you're just like, oh, yeah, no, don't worry, it's fine.
I'm sorry to talk over you, Cheese.
Oh, yeah,
but
no,
I was just
you
going to say
go.
Kosh is a little bit amused that his zeal sort of led to his demise. So
Yeah, so they are now down to integrity, which is good because if they did succeed, they then get to do damage to you. But with that, you now move on to lap 3, where, bear in mind, you can still overclock, and this is the final lap. So, what I would like for everyone here to bear in mind is that, well, Hyperspeed, you are currently in the pole position. You get to go first. What would you like to do at all?
Can I just go forward? I don't think so.
You can't go forward, but you can hold or retreat.
I'll just hold.
Right, now, one thing I will say as well, if you are in first, you can also use your acceleration modifier to hold.
Okay.
Okay, now, now, I want you to bear in mind as well, if you are trying to hold in first, if you do fail, you will lose your first place. But what you're going to now try and do is hold against Platty.
Okay.
So I now want you to roll a d6 plus your acceleration or weight, and I'll roll for pushback. You can also overclock.
Uh,
Oh, don't worry, Ven. Yeah, no, don't worry. Platty tries getting around to you, but you are not letting them through. You've seen their tricks, and you are certainly analysing what they have done. And as they try to take you from the inside of a curve, you actually, almost in instinct, you actually pull back a tiny bit just to give them a little ding, and then you're able to push forwards as they try to regain control. You're doing great. The pushback was a 2 on that, so you just get to keep your position, and no other player, or, well, racer, can try to get by you right now. So, Platty seeing this right now is a little bit pissed. They're a little bit miffed. They want to get back to their spot. They know that you are not to be trifled with. So, they're simply going to try and stop you, Kosh. they too are now going to try and hold. And I will see if the pushback is good enough. Okay. Okay, I need to roll again. They tied. Okay. I need to roll again. They tied. They got a 5 and a 5 and a 6 and a 6.
Good lord, okay.
Wow, okay, hold on. Okay.
Oh, good lord.
Okay.
So as of right now, I'm in third place now?
You are currently in third, and I'll tell you this right now. Platty rolled a 2. The pushback rolled a 3. So, what's going to happen here is that... Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just...
okay. I mean, long story short is that Platty is maybe losing their cool a tiny bit. As they're trying and keep you away, they are opening themselves up to many other spots that you can see. You've sort of analysed already the behaviour of Platty. You know, maybe they've had a bit of a nerve before, but you're now seeing some of the weaknesses in them, and you're pretty sure that no matter how well they're going to try and hold, you could try to accelerate past them if you want to.
I think I'm going to do that, actually.
Perfect. It is your turn. So, would you like to accelerate?
I believe I shall.
Great. I will roll the pushback. You will probably not have a problem.
Yeah.
Alright, 1d6. Yeah, that equals. That's perfectly fine. You rolled a 6, I rolled a 3. Now bear in mind, Hyper is in first. Now, Hyper did hold, but they can get by you.
Okay.
It's up to... Okay, hold on. I'll explain this a bit better. So, Hyper. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I think I typed the wrong thing into my roll there. I hit equals instead of plus, but...
But, yeah, don't worry. You rolled a 4, I rolled a 3. As a basic level, you're fine, don't worry.
Alright,
but, yeah, let me just explain this a tiny bit. As, Hyper, obviously you are in first place, and you are holding a position. It's honestly up to you if you want to let Kosh get first. Now, I would say bear in mind different weights in vehicles maybe could be an issue, or any levels of integrity could be an issue, but you're both doing brilliantly. Yeah. So it's up to you if you want to let Kosh by, and as Kosh, it's up to you if you want to take it, but right now you're both in first and second. It just depends on who wants to take first and who wants to take second right now, and who might want to deal with a very angry Platty.
Platty seems kind of angry. I don't have a problem with having to deal with them. I pretty much leave that up to the discretion of Hyperspeed.
Hyperspeed kind of freezes up.
Remain where you are then. I will function as a sentinel.
I remain in second place.
Alright then, fair enough. So, with Helicam phase, yet again, we are neck and neck at the podium positions, as all 3 of the people are right there that are the currently ones rolling out of the meta game. But, yeah, no, you're all still in your podium positions. Hyper, you are holding first like a champ. Kosh, you've been able to get your way up to second after a rough first, but also you have a Platty right behind you, which is the issue. But, bear in mind, you still have Overclock as well. So, it's up to you on how you want to do things here.
Well...
oh, sorry. Yeah, I just want to... Sorry, I left that too much into interpretation. Hyper, you get to go first, as Kosh, you'll be afterwards.
Well, it's just blocking, right?
If you'd like to block, yeah. I can just say you block against Kosh, but you're just blocking, so it's fine.
Yeah, well, I'm not blocking against Kosh, but anyone else that...
Yeah, exactly. Do you want, just for the sake of it, do you want to see if you want to do an overtake on the guy in the last place? See if you can just knock him out of the race. Do you want to try that?
Spirit.
Yeah. Alright then, let's give it a go then. Fuck it, let's see what happens, huh? Roll a d6 plus your acceleration. I will roll a d6 plus this car's acceleration, which I'm going to say is a +1. Okay. No, you don't get to overtake them. They're just about keeping up. You see them panic a bit and they sort of give a little bit of extra gas, but you know, you don't lap anyone to take them out of the race at least, so that's good. So you don't lose anything, you're just in first.
Hyper was just kind of continuously speeding up, not really noticing he was about to overtake someone.
Yeah. You sort of even hear like a horn as well, like just going like "Ha!" as you get a bit too close. Maybe that's what caused you to fall back a tiny bit. But yeah, no, you are still very much in first, and you are going to hold it. I just want to do that to see if you just by any chance happen to lap someone. But yeah. Anyway, Kosh, it is up to you. You obviously have any amounts of overclocking you would like to use, but you could also just try and block and try to defend against anyone else's attacks.
I have no reason to overclock or overtake anyone at this point, so I'm just gonna serve to defend against attacks.
Okay, so you are going to block. Platty is definitely going to try and get by you. Would you like to try and overclock your defense, or would you like to keep it?
You know what? I'll try and overclock the defense this time.
Okay, how much would you like to overclock it by?
Just by 1 point. I think Lotus can take it.
Alright, fair enough. Take off 1 integrity point. Platty's getting reckless, and they are going to also overclock.
Alright.
So, I'm going to roll with that. Alright, so you are going to be rolling your weight, and I'll be rolling for my acceleration.
Okay, and since I'm overclocking, how do I incorporate that into the roll, or
right,
do I
so,
do that yet?
You are taking off 1 integrity point, correct?
Yes, I've already done
Okay,
that.
yep. What is your weight?
Well, actually, my weight is 0, so...
In that case, you get a +1.
Okay,
It's basically that plus your weight plus your overclocking is basically how you do that. It's basically like trying to show what you're willing to do to get your position. But yeah, Platty is also overclocking. Yeah, they in total got an 8.
I see.
So they went ham, and as you're like trying to block them, they even slam into your car to try and push away. So unfortunately you're now knocked back to 3rd.
Ah,
but
I see.
You're not exactly, but you don't take any damage at least. You're just back in 3rd. That's all it is. And Platty is trying to move up.
Well.
Okay.
I'm sure his zeal will get the best of him again.
Perhaps so. Now then. Platty, it is now Platty's turn. But you see them come by Kosh, and quite frankly, they want to either... Just thinking.
It's at this point Kosh is considering changing his strategy.
This is the final lap, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think here. Yeah, Hyper, they are going to try and overtake you. Now, bear in mind, if you want to, because it also could give you a bit of cash, if they fail in this, you can give them a free slam attack.
Okay.
Now, they want to get by, so they are looking to overclock once more. They are putting pedal to the metal, and they are going to try and accelerate by you. I need you to roll your weight.
My weight?
Yeah, so you're rolling for your weight. You're also... Sorry, what was that? Oh, yeah, Hold on, let me just check something really quick. Okay, roll versus opponent. Yeah, technically this is an opponent behind, so unfortunately you would have to do weight with this.
Okay.
You can overclock it as well if you want to. I'm sure you probably have the integrity.
Yeah, I think.
Alright, yep. Have you used any integrity yet?
Overclock with 3 integrity.
Alright, go for it. Add +3 to your roll, as I'm going to add mine to mine. Okay. Okay.
Oh, you still got...
Yeah, okay. So what happens here as a bit of a last minute upset, unfortunately. I rolled a 4 +3 because Platty overclocked by 1 to just try and get by you. Here's what happens here. Hyper, you are trying to hold your place. Perhaps even out of reflex, you see the fury come by you. Not the fury star, but the fury of this Platty person. Whilst they seemed friendly at first, perhaps they are changing their mind a bit, so you are unfortunately unable to fend them off, and they get ahead of you. So, in the last lap, you all start to go across the finishing line. Is there anything you would like to say before this happens?
No.
Right, well. Nothing else to be said, I will give you all your final positions and then your rewards. So,
Okay.
in first place, with a very surprising last minute overtaking, we have Plax of the SSC Wolverine, able to make it to podium. And so they will be getting the largest prize of them all. Then in the next position we have the Upstart Hyperspeed, perhaps a little bit known to the track, but they certainly have left a legend so far. They have left quite an impact on the hearts and minds of those who watch the sport. And we also have in third place Kosh, someone who at first had a bit of a shaky first lap, but in the end they've become a bit of a favourite on their own grit and determination to get through. So, I want to say this respectively, you might want to make a note of this on your character sheets, but Hyper, you are going to get 14 votes.
Okay.
And you're going to get 3,800 crits. Alright then. And then Kosh, you are going to get 13,000 votes.
Okay.
And you'll get 3,600 crits. Yes, votes.
Did you say
Oh.
13,000 volts?
Oh, sorry, 13 volts. It's you get 38,000 crits. Hyper.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Cool. So you'll always get more crits than volts, because volts are the parts that you actually use to upgrade and repair your vehicle when need be. But with that, your race has ended and you start to slow down. And you hear over the well, I don't know if you'd hear it, Kosh, but over your telecommunicator hyperspeed, you well done, kiddo, you fucking done it. Great job there, kid. Great fucking job. You see, I knew I had it in ya. I fucking knew it. I knew it, kid. Don't you worry about it. We're gonna get you started. We're gonna get you some nice fucking wine. It's gonna be a grand goddamn time. Kosh, out of curiosity, are you going to let Tenson speak to you?
At this point, the Lotus has reactivated the comm system, so yes.
Right. Yeah, Tanson comes over the radio, goes, "Great job, sport. You did really well there. You know, I will admit I was a little bit worried at the start of the first lap, but boy howdy did you get over there. Oh damn, you really got something there. Hey, how about we wrap up soon and talk about what we're doing here. You also might want to avoid that Platty fella. But looking from the VIP box, they seem very pissed about what was happening down there, but at least I got money, so maybe not as pissed." Yeah, well, tell what? How about we just come on back? You'll be teleported soon. Dancing out, let's go. Dancer doesn't really hear what you say there, but with that,
Well, of course he doesn't.
yeah, Tanson, believe it or not, Tanson's not exactly the guy to listen. In case you can't tell, but yeah. Anyway, with that, you all come back to the hangar. As you were leaving, you hear the crowds and cheering, everything going on. You even hear a little bit of chanting of your name, Hyperspeed. You also see a few little mock banners as well, showing like a bit of a grisly scene. What is even more grisly is the fact that as you come back to the hangar, usually at the end of a race, if there is a slam or a retirement, they are put on collector cards. Now, this event was quite special, was that there was none of that, yet there was a fatality. So, as you teleported back to the hangar, you see that there is a pop-up stall for all of this sort of memorabilia. And you see up there, super rare starting line fatality. And as you are to take a look at the banners of it, it's replaying the moment where your father died. The explosion of it. Over and over.
Shock.
Archaic, the worship of death.
Mm-hmm. People are buying the cards left, right, and center, by the way, because it was an old legend, and this is they don't know if this is actually the best way to go out, but it's certainly one of the most interesting. But with that done, you are back in the hangar, and you are free to leave your vehicle. It takes a while before Hanson comes down, so if you want to discuss anything or try to get away, it's up to you.
I'm just sitting like trying to hide in a corner again.
I just sort of emerge from my vehicle in some random direction, not necessarily specifically. And I kind of just sort of take in the environment and observe what's going on. It seems as though my purpose here is more scientific than anything, seeing as I don't directly interact with anyone, but I'm not necessarily trying to shun away from the crowd either. This experience has really been more enlightening than anything.
Yeah, I get you. As you are sort of looking around, Kosh, you do actually see a racer begin to approach you. The one that actually approached super speed just before the start of the day. One that you recognize coming out of the charcoal grey racer that is in quite a bad nick. Platyplex comes over. They simply look you up and down. They're a type of human, but they seem slightly different. There seems to be a little bit of maybe like elven inside of it, but also something else. They simply come up to you and say, "You did not let me go by it first."
Platyplex will remember that.
And walk away.
Insolence
Is all I say.
Perfect.
I kind of eye him down then, immediately seeing what he is.
If you want to roll anything to maybe like try and get an idea, you can certainly use your Chaos Fury score if you want to maybe get an idea.
You know what? I think I will.
Alright, fair enough.
What am I rolling specifically?
How would you say you're going about this? Are you going about this in a theoretical science of trying to work it out, or are you trying to what's it called? Like just go off of gut feeling?
I'm gonna try and do this, empirically, theoretically.
Okay, perfect. In that case, I need to roll a d6, and you need to go above your Chaos Fury score. Now, bear in mind as well, you all have done pretty well in a race, so in future story-related rolls, if you believe it could help you in any way, you can add an extra d6 to your roll.
Oh, okay.
I also
So,
would admit, I forgot to mention this, but you do have your radical bonuses as well, which would allow for a reroll. I apologize, I forgot about that completely.
That's all right. I probably wouldn't have needed it until now.
Okay, fair enough.
So what am I rolling here specifically then? Is it a d6 plus 2 then, or?
No, just a d6, and you just need to roll higher than your Chaos Fury.
Okay.
Yep, you rolled higher than that, so yeah, you get a bit of an analysis of this person, and there is something strange about them. As you're someone who is perhaps somewhat in tune with different organic matters, whilst everything here is a bit alien, there's something a bit stranger on the Platyplex person. There's something about their mannerisms that almost seem like they're being controlled in a way. And you do recall back to that agent that saw you earlier, and how the Platyplex name was mentioned, and how you turned them down on their possibility of a deal. You just sort of think about those, and you wonder what they might have wanted with this person, and how this might be impacting them. But either way, you get the impression that Platy is not fully in control. Especially think about how they were able to race, and how at some points they seemed heated, and at other points they were perfectly in control. Like at the end, where they simply drove by.
Kosh comes to a realization, and the next thing you know, his behavior seems a lot more agitated. Like, I think that he's got a very strong idea as to what's going on here, especially what he said to the last thing that he heard from this man. It is at this point he decides to take Mortimer's advice seriously in avoiding him.
Alrighty. Well, speaking of Mortimer, Mortimer is certainly coming down. He first off went up with a martini. He's now coming down with three very large, basically jugs of beer, but it's space, so it's not just a simple like jug. It's very intricately designed to a point where it is much bigger on the inside than it is on the out. It all comes, fellas! It's great to meet you, finally. The true victors. I mean, you didn't get first, but you know what? That's fine. You know, you did fantastic. You did absolutely brilliant. Here's one on me. And he starts offering out beers. He just sort of hands them out expectantly.
3 of the tendrils come out from under my cloak. I then take the beer mug, and it disappears into my cloak.
Perfect. Don't worry. I'm sure we got plenty more where that came from. Come on, Hyper. Have one on me.
I'm okay.
You sure? Come on, pal. It helps take the edge off.
I don't want
All right, then. More for me. And he just sort of drops the plate and just takes both of them. So, great race you had there, huh? I knew it. I knew you had it in ya. You see, I will admit, I was a little bit worried about, saying 5th position, but boy, was luck on your side, eh? That was fucking brilliant. That was great. Oh, man. Oh, God, what happened there? Man, I would admit I was drinking a few times there, but you're good people. You're good people. And you know what? You made a message. I got my phones were ringing at the end of that race, and we are surely going to get our own area here, okay? Like, Sumatra Babylonis, I think we'll call it. Babylonis, because, it's me. And we got some branding that we can do around here. I can make some stuff for you. What's your favorite color? What's your favorite color?
I kind of just sort of turn to hyperspeed, expecting him to answer.
Purple, I guess.
Purple, alrighty. We can put some purple banners around here, get rid of these shitty little light blue ones. Lads, we are in business, okay? We're gonna do just fine here. And we're gonna be the best of fucking family all together. Great to have you part of a team.
Yes, great.
Indeed.
I kind of say in a half disgusted tone towards him, but I'm just glad that I was able to participate at all.
Perfect. Well, there's generally some celebrations that happen. Obviously, all of you are sort of just trying to think about what happened during that race. But before we do actually end up ending, if you would like to have any more free time to take a look around anywhere, maybe repair up your... Oh, actually, that is something we'll do. Could I have one of you roll me a D3?
Yeah.
Yep. This is going to be how good repair bots are to your car. As, I have, ooh. That's, okay, well, on the right side, it's still something. Add 1 point of integrity to your car. Now, as we are sort of coming to the end bit here, I just want to generally talk about the, more integrity values and things like that. As now you have volts, so now you can use them as you would like to. But what's going on here is that I've added in a tiny bit where you can roll a 1d3, and depending on that number is a passive amount of integrity you'll always get back. When it comes to actually getting your vehicle repaired on your own, you can spend volts for it. If you have enough volts as well, you can upgrade your repair droids to have an extra +1, or +2, or +3, +4, so on and so forth, to your integrity per race, so there's a higher chance you are maybe even fully repaired. But yeah, add that +1 over your integrity, and yeah, you now all have a fair amount of cash and volts.
Nice.
If you would like to do anything with those, there is obviously a market. If there's anything a bit more curious you would like to talk about, perhaps with illegal modifications, we can talk about it as well. It's up to you what you want to do right now. As we sort of come to like the things are starting to get a little bit darker, the hype around the race is starting to die off. You definitely made a name of yourselves, as even if you are going to start walking around, there's heads turning. Like they're like, hey, Kosh, great job in the race, yeah, great job, Hyper, yeah, you're that guy, I like you, yeah. So like, there's people just going around like, singing my praises a bit.
I just kind of try and act respectfully, not really saying anything specific, but giving a head bow now and then.
Fair
Just
enough.
keep slinking away more and more.
Yeah. Perfect. Is there anywhere you would like to go before we sort of do the end wrapping up?
What's in the market? What can we buy there?
In the market, there's general knickknacks and things like that if you just want to think of an item you might want to buy. There is also the capability to buy different modifications, or perhaps shift points, or even get an upgrade. Generally the price for an upgrade is 15 volts, but perhaps if you can, I don't know, like call a favor or owe a favor, a mechanic might be willing to give it to you a bit less, or maybe they just want to like you. There is very much a capability of haggling in the market, but it's basically mainly for anything car related, or if you want to get some information on another racer, so to speak. There's probably someone for it. One of the things as well you'd probably know is that there are ways to get illegal modifications. You obviously heard about these, you're not quite sure where to get them from though. Usually they get brought in by another person into the general ring of things. But yeah, it's up to you now. What would you like to do?
Well, I guess Kosh is gonna go and seek, at first, legitimate machine upgrades for his gravity rip engine.
Right, perfect. That would not be too hard to do, actually. There's many mechanics around. You walk into one of the ones that seem to be a little bit cleaner, I suppose. Would you, is there a particular mechanic you might want to look for, like in regards to, like, you know, standards, or?
Well, frankly, Kosh isn't really sure what to look for, so he's just going to allow the first person to come up to him to assist him.
Perfect. You sort of see a guy working on one of the other cars and goes, "Oh, hey, sorry, grease in my throat. How you doing?"
Well,
Hi, so, hey, you're one of the racing fellas, ain't ya?
yes.
Alright. I'm just trying to think. You are, which guy? You're the guy driving the, what was it called?
Lotus Sanguine.
Was it the Lotus? I don't know. I could have sworn it's the other one, but, well. What would you like, huh?
I wish to seek machine upgrades for the engine.
Alright, okay. Well, tell you what, if you, I can get your car teleported over here, really quickly, and, I can give you a bit of a quote, really. We usually go for about 15 volts, per upgrade. But, you know, if you can make it worth my while, I could do it cheaper.
Elaborate.
I mean, look here, pal. I'll be honest with you. I'm pretty fucking broke. Now, whilst I could just go for a cheaper price, I'd also maybe like the idea of I don't know, a bit of representation, like you know, a branding maybe. Tell you what, how about this? If I can stick a sticker onto your car, and you know, it's my mechanic engine, right? You know, like it's a general idea that I'm the one helping you out here. You know, it's like a sort of like dedicated thing, right? If I can, you know, put like maybe a little sign or something on like your car and say like, hey, this was serviced by this guy, he's good. I can do it cheaper.
Please wait.
And then you notice his eyes start to glow slightly greenish, somewhat the same color of that of Lotus, as though they were in telepathic communication.
Oh, that's weird.
After about a minute or so, he kind of snaps out of it.
Lotus will allow this.
Alright, sweet. I can get out the big banners now. Wait, would you prefer a banner, or would you prefer like a sign on top, like the olden day taxis?
What exactly would the banner entail, I guess, is my next question.
The banner would basically just be like a little thing that dangles on the top of the roof. It's just like a little bit, it's like whether you want something flappy or something a bit more sturdy, so to speak.
I mean, as far as it goes, I think something flappy would probably interfere with, you know, the operation of racing itself, so.
Attach the physical object.
Alright, you got it. Now, I wanted to say one more thing as well. Try not to let this get knocked off. You know, if someone slams into you, there's a small chance this might be knocked off, and, you know, it could be a bit bad for business, but look, you know, if it stays on, perfectly fine. Like, already right now, I'll do it for 13 volts, okay? I'll give you an upgrade for 13. How about that, pal?
Acceptable.
Perfect. All right. I'll need your car for overnight though. It's gonna take a while. What would you like better?
Elaborate.
Well, put it this way. do you want to feel sturdier or do you want to go faster? I can upgrade Gravity Rip engine inside, or I can maybe make your car a bit more resilient to the damage on the outside. Like, you can get some plating that you can stick on, maybe.
Enhance the resilience.
Resilience, I got you. You gotta make sure you're sturdy out there, or else, oh boy, you're gonna die. So, sure thing, I can get you done with that. That'll be 13 volts, my man, and this will be ready for your next race, so that's all good. Also, you get a big old sign on the outside, it's all good.
Satisfactory.
All right.
Convene again at the hour of scampering.
Damn right.
I must warn you. Do not attempt to enter the vehicle. Only
I wouldn't
perform
dream.
maintenance on the engine.
That is perfectly fine, Usually you can just get around the backs of some of the vehicles. I don't even need to go on the inside. It's also like there's some digital things you can do as well, like some telemetry, I think they call it. Where you actually alter the way it works. So don't worry, I got you. I'll let you know how it goes or if anything happens. Okay. Just to check, there's nothing dangerous inside the car, like any weapons or anything like that. Just out of curiosity.
Kosh does not respond.
All right, perfectly fine. I'll stay on the outside. Well, gosh, it's a pleasure meeting you, and this could be the start of something great. I did see you racing. Boy, you really did well there. So, hey, get some rest, pal.
I simply offer you a bow, and then I pay you the 13 volts.
Perfect.
Out of the 13,000 that I have.
Yep, perfectly fine. Wow, how convenient, eh? I will say as well, I do believe volts can also be traded as well with crits. So I think it's like every 2,000 crits is also a volt.
I believe.
Sorry, which one did I put it as actually?
Chaos.
Yep.
But if you said 13,000 volts instead of 13 volts.
Oh, sorry, did I say 13,000? It's.
You can.
Oh, right, okay. Well, it's not meant to be 13,000. It's meant to be 13, but yeah.
Just like a flat 13 volts for the.
Yep,
what?
flat 13 volts for the cost of the upgrade.
You've written 13,000 volts.
Oh, did I?
That's how much you got for the race, but you just got.
Yeah.
13.
Okay.
I think
Yes.
Chaos said
I think
13,000 by accident.
I must have. I apologize there. Usually you would only get a you would get a low number of volts in. Yeah. No, my apologies. Yeah, you got 13 volts as opposed to 13,000. My bad. I must have misspoke.
Well, I guess I have no volts then, which is fine.
Yeah, sorry about that. But on the bright side, what you can now do is that you can now allocate another dot already to your vehicle. So allocate that to the acceleration. Sorry, not acceleration. Integrity. Weight, as that is what you wanted to have. Be a bit more sturdy.
All right then.
And our dear mechanic will get you sorted soon. Just for all intents and purposes, the mechanic's name is Bumper.
Bumper. Okay.
Yep. So look forward to having a bumper-related sign stuck on the top of the car. But yeah, with that transaction done, Hyper, is there anything else you would like to do?
I want to repair.
Okay.
Light speed.
Perfect. How much would you like to repair by?
I'm at 6 now, so I want to use 2 to get back to 8.
Okay. Well, yeah, if you want to get your integrity points back, you only need to spend 1 volt for that, since 1 volt will equal 2 integrity. Yeah, that's the thing. I have changed the repairing slightly, because I do think that it can be a bit harsh sometimes when it comes to repair. So I wanted to just have it be a little bit more impactful. So if you want to, so you said you're at 6 right now and your max is 8?
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, just add 1, just take away 1 volt and put yourself back up to 8.
And I want to just look around a little bit in the market, but I'm trying not to draw any attention to myself.
Okay. Well, yeah, as you were looking around, you do obviously, you sort of looking around, there's all different types of people there, but a figure does come over, a quite large figure that you might have been told about, as they are someone of a stone variety. They're quite large, 8-foot tall as well. They come over to you. They just sort of give you a look.
Please can you hand this to your friend?
And they hand you a small piece of paper.
Oh, they hand me a piece of paper.
Yeah, it's sealed up, but yeah. They then immediately
Hyper
walk
is
away.
a little hesitant to take it.
They simply leave it by you and walk away.
Wait, did they say my friend?
Yep.
Okay, well, I pick it up.
If you would like to as well, we can leave it right there. The mystery of what is in that little bit of package.
Sure.
What is in the message. But I think with that, we can probably close it up here, unless you want to do anything else in particular.
No.
Alright.
There is.
Yep.
Yeah, nope.
Right. Well, I think there, that is the first ever session of Gravity Rip I've ever done, and that, you know, is properly ever done. So, yeah, congratulations, you did well. You know, it from the test run, you did significantly better.
Nice. Okay, well, I'll take it.
Yeah, hopefully you had fun. I bumped up a few times, so I apologize for that. But Sumatra Babylonis, the team with a very overbearing investor with a little crew of misfits, is starting to get their name out there. And perhaps sometime soon they might be heard to the other teams. But next time we'll be looking at another team known as Paradoxical and their new recruits. So for now, I would say thank you for you two for coming here. It was great to see you, and thank you for playing.
Thank you for DMing.
Yeah, thank you.
Nice.
It's great. I'm going to deafen up and then just say bye to the stream. But yeah, feel free to leave as you want to. But yeah, thanks again. And if you want to as well, we can talk a bit more about the general design of the sign as well. We can talk a bit more about that in a minute if you want to. It's up to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, perfect. Anyway, I'm going to deafen up now. Maybe see you guys in a minute. Right, well, that was Gravity Rip with Sumatra Babylonis. Hopefully you all enjoyed that, and hopefully you did a good job in telling the tale of just what the hell just happened. But hey, they did very well, so that is always very good. Anyway, I suppose I'll be moving it over to the stream ending for now. So I will say good night, stay safe, and in the event you are getting ready to race, be prepared, as something unfortunate will happen. You better be ready.